I'll give you a tip. It's wild and it's far, and you're in for a trip. For just when you think it couldn't get rougher, the path goes crooked and the going gets tougher. But once you've traveled this far off the track, you won't settle for less, and there's no going back. The powerful Chevy Tahoe, like a rock.
Hey, Bob.
Hey.
You get a new haircut?
No.
Hey, Bob.
Hey.
Did you lose weight?
Huh?
Your jacket, Bob?
Nope.
What's different? He finally asked his doctor about Viagra. Ready to ask your doctor about Viagra for the first time? Find out if a free sample is right for you. To learn more, visit Viagra.com.
Called the sitter, and walked the dog, and I saw the doctor.
Ask your doctor and see the difference.
No man is an island. No man stands alone. Each man's joy is joy to me. Each man's grief is my own. We need one another, so I will defend each man as my brother, each man as my friend.
You ready for this? I call it the Super Slammer. Dunk your grandma. Skip to my loop.
Noodle legs, behind the back. Chocolate thunder attack.
Gorilla, head turning. Spine chilling. What you feeling? Horizontal, monumental, turbo power, magical rim rack. Yeah,
Life got simple the day I plugged into the big brown machine. West Coast overnight, done. China, 48 hours, done. Brown picks it all up together and delivers it all on time. And with their global tracking system, I get the proof. It isn't that I'm not a trusting person. Yes, it is.
International Overnight Ground Synchronized. UPS. What can Brown do for you?
CBS hopes you're enjoying pictures from the Pontiac Performance Cam, and what a performance it has been by Syracuse on both ends of the floor. And how do you find an open room when you're talking about wingspans like this?
Well, Jim, a good recruiter will go back to the head coach and say, I'm not going to tell you how tall he is, I'm going to tell you how long he is. Warwick is one of those guys that is long.
Timeout called by Syracuse as McNamara was doubled up in the backcourt. He's got the stroke going again.
Tell me about your dream.
I'm floating in water. Can't you see we're adrift? We're lost.
Ah, liquidity issues.
No, water. We're at sea. We're rudderless. We need help.
This is Bob's meeting, Beth.
Does anyone hear me? I feel lost, adrift. I need help. What does it mean?
That you're lost, adrift, and need help.
Kentucky was a 2 when it defeated Utah, a 3 in the '98 final in San Antonio. Fourth Big 12 opponent for Syracuse with the ball, leading 47-33.
Of course, Kentucky, the last team that stopped Jim Boeheim from being a national champion. That particular year, Jim Boeheim beat Kansas in the regional final to get to the Final Four.
And what a game that was in '96. Nice save by Heinrich.
But look at 3-on-2, the numbers in Syracuse's favor. Again, Kansas cannot deliver on a fast break opportunity.
Duane can't believe that call's against him. Coming up, singular at the half, Greg and Clark and Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo. With complete first half analysis, plus Dick Enberg will take a look at head coaches Jim Boeheim and Roy Williams as they make this attempt to enter the elite championship fraternity. All coming up, singular at the half. Langford at the line.
Jim, a lot of coaches that are scouting this Syracuse team who want to learn how to play the zone. One of the things that I think you'd really want to look at over and over again is how does Boeheim get his team back on defense so well that they actually have the numbers on you when you're breaking. And against Kansas, you're seeing a great example of that defensive balance of this terrific zone.
Langford tries his first three of the night. Graves with the putback. Graves and Collison getting it their way at times inside. And look out, Anthony is limping.
Graves showing that great strength inside.
Graves has 8 for Kansas.
Nice little comeback here by Kansas.
Oh, and they tie him up. And the arrow to Kansas.
Nice comeback. Anthony thought he had the size to hold that ball over his head. Kind of surprised him a little bit.
You're talking about that 96 matchup. Kansas and Syracuse. That was out west, and that was a thriller. Syracuse going on to the final against Kentucky. Rick Pitino's championship.
A 60-57 ball game. When you think back to that Final Four, you always think about Kentucky, how great they were. Massachusetts was the highest seeded team coming in there. Highest rated, #1 in the country.
It can be. Langford this time looking a lot like what we saw against Marquette.
Jimmy Boeheim has got to be concerned if Kansas is a team that looked like they were going to get blown out of here. They can get this thing down under double figures.
It's a little 8-point run here, Billy. Intensity has definitely stepped up on this end, too. Miles wanting to challenge McNamara. Which way will it go? Basket goes. They're going to call the charge. And it looked like McNamara was moving.
No, I've got to say that call should have been a basket and a foul on Syracuse. Roy Williams has reason to be concerned. Watch this. McNamara never is in defensive position. You have to establish the defensive position, then you can move. But you can't move under without having it established. He never got it established and squared up. Missed call there.
Wow,
and a big call.
Because it also would have been the second on McNamara. Miles would have been going to the line for a 3-point play to shave it to 7.
A calming effect here.
Hey, here, Anthony with the ball.
Yep.
This is pretty calming, too. McNamara with another 3, and he is moving in on the all-time title game 3-point mark. 7 made by Steve Alford here in '87. Dave Seeger of Oklahoma. Tony Delk with 7, and here comes the Orange again.
McNeil on the block that time. 4th and McNeil causing a lot of problems down there in the center of the 2-3. The calming effect? Nothing there.
Graves. Quick release, Heinrich. McNamara challenged again. And that's the first easy 2, breakaway 2, if you will, fast break 2 of the night. But McNamara has hit 6 threes in this first half.
You're talking, look at it, 11-point game. There's 18 points coming from one factor.
We couldn't believe that night when Alford hit the 7 to set the record. It's right here in the Superdome. Edelin, short. Miles comes out with it. On the wing, Langford, and oh man, Anthony drags him down.
But he did hold him on the way down. Nice sportsmanship that time by Carmelo Anthony.
How quick was that? Well, you know you've really hit him hard, and now you have also...
he was going for ball to start off with there. I think that is really good sportsmanship on his part.
No question.
He was going for the block, and then he realized that he could get in trouble and helped go right down to the floor with him. Nice job.
First on Anthony. Hold on, they're going to call that flagrant foul, Billy?
Oh, I don't think so.
They're calling it intentional.
Intentional foul. I don't buy it at all. I think initially Carmelo Anthony was going up for the block, and then the only time he grabbed him was on the way down to stop the fall.
So it's 2 free throws.
Ball out.
And possession for Kansas.
Oh, now Carmelo Anthony is doing a little mouthing down here, and he needs to stay away from that. He and Miles going after each other.
Pace in, McNeil out.
Well, that may even things up a little bit from that call we saw before. I thought that was not the intent by Anthony at all. So we have 6 threes by McNamara and 1 by the whole Kansas team. Is that what we have?
Heinrich has 2.
Yep.
Heinrich hit back-to-back threes. Set up for another look. No, Anthony closes in on him. Collison. Tip up. And around, Lee's in the game.
So strong, isn't he?
So is Graves. Oh, and he tried to hit Heinrich. Graves outside.
Graves has passing ability, but he turns the ball over when he tries to make too big a plays. This year he has 32 assists, 62 turnovers. It's not that he can't pass. He makes some bad judgments.
Final 40 seconds of a thrilling first half. It's been controlled.
A foul to give here, so they should play really strong defense. Try to make a steal on this play. Not worried about picking up another foul.
It's been controlled by Syracuse. Kansas led for all of 11 seconds.
I don't know if the players realize this, but they should go and try to steal.
Down to 10 on the shot clock, 7-second differential. Anthony over Collison this time. Oh!
That was not a good play by Kansas. They had a foul to give, go out and try to make a steal.
Heinrich with 5, Collison reverse. Nice move. We have reached halftime in the Superdome, and Syracuse behind Jerry McNamara's 18 6 3-pointers for the mayor of Scranton. And Syracuse leads it. We'll continue from New Orleans in a moment.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the Men's National Championship game is sponsored by the Mazda 6, Intel Centrino Mobile Technology, UPS, and by Gatorade.
Impeccable road manners. Well-dressed interior. Looks best in red. Introducing the all-new Mazda 6.
Excuse me, do you know what investments are in your retirement account?
Okay. No.
And how about you folks?
We have no idea.
And how about your retirement account?
I just adjusted it. Now I'm 50% stocks, 30% bonds, 20% cash.
You can stay close to your money with online tools from TD Waterhouse. Do your own homework. Plan your own future. You can't plan for tomorrow if you don't know where your money is today.
TD Waterhouse. You're in control.
Somewhere a trucking company needs a driver. Somewhere a driver needs a job. That's where we come in. Blue collar, white collar, no collar. Now Monster works for everybody.
Can Jimmy play?
Oh, yeah. Jimmy?
Oops.
Can Jimmy come play?
Hi, Derek. Jimmy?
Can Jimmy play?
Jimmy?
Salt right, Texas, 22-1-2.
Whoa. It's my job.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, I'm Melissa McDermott. U.S. military officials say U.S. forces struck a leadership target in Baghdad tonight. CBS News has learned that forces used a bunker-busting bomb to strike a target where it's believed Saddam Hussein and his 2 sons were located. Now, there is no confirmation that either Saddam Hussein or his sons were killed in this strike, but we do know the information came from what is called time-sensitive intelligence. And we'll have more details on your late local news. I'm Melissa McDermott in New York, and we now return to basketball.
Back here in New Orleans, and it has been a feisty first half by the young Orangemen of Syracuse, nailing down outside shots on record pace. leading by as many as 18. Roy Williams encouraging his team to get right back into it. They did trim it from 18 to 11 as we examine now the Microsoft Agile move of the first half. And now it's Duane on the follow-up of the Anthony shot, and they were stretching him out, Carmelo Anthony, to begin the second half, Billy.
Jim, I noticed when he was in the layup line, he pulled up his shirt. He's taped very heavily all the way from the top of his buttocks all the halfway up his back.
Field goal percentages are good, but you said again, deceiving because of the outside. You see Kansas with Heinrich hitting 2 of 5. That's it from the outside for Kansas, but look at Duane adding to the McNamara number. Turnovers more on the Kansas side. Actually, Kansas has out-rebounded the Orange +5.
Kansas had a nice run, though, to get themselves back into the ballgame in a very important first 3 minutes of this second half. And Syracuse continue to establish their dominance.
Up and down, and that goes back to Kansas. That's what you're talking about. Look at this.
There it is.
He suffered a lower back strain in the game against Texas here on Saturday.
And you can see that that is heavily taped. But he got a lot of stretching right before he went out to shoot around. Again, reluctant to take the jump shot is Kansas. Again, reluctant to take the jump shot. Langford has got to understand they're letting him shoot.
Traveling there, let's go to Armin Katayan.
Jim, regarding Carmelo Anthony, I talked to the people on the bench for Syracuse. They say he's okay. This is somewhat normal stretching for them, but they're telling me there's nothing wrong with him at this point. Back to you.
But then why do they put tape halfway up his back? That's an answer that I don't accept. Here comes the break. Maybe.
Heinrich over, and the foul called on Syracuse. This will go against Warwick.
Very positive sign for Kansas to get out and finally get 3-on-2 numbers against the Syracuse team that beat them back down floor in the first half.
47-29, largest lead of the first half. It was 11 at the intermission. Best comeback ever, those comeback Cats. 1998, beating Utah 10 down at the half. Let me ask you this, Billy. All this emphasis on getting back, Syracuse, running back to the other end to get back defensively. Any chance we'll see fatigue late in the game?
I don't really think so. I think, again, we get back to coaching, and one of the things, it wasn't unusual for Syracuse to do this. This is why their zone is so effective. So I think it's something that their players are used to.
2 misfires at the line. Kansas 8 out of 15 tonight shooting freeze. McNamara 2-point shot. Anthony with the tip.
Back didn't look sore there, did it?
Not at all.
That was probably the easiest shot McNamara had this entire ball game. Missed from 15 feet.
Son, you stay outside that line.
Yeah.
1 off the championship record. If he hits another 3, he'll share it. Heinrich gunning. And Miles gets to the spot in time. Looking for help. Finds Langford.
Langford is amazing in his size that he can get inside. I think Jim Boeheim is going to say, you know what? They are not going to take some outside shots, so let's pack that zone in even further.
Before the shot, Langford on the blocking foul.
We look at Miles going inside. Fourth, as I said, not a great shot blocker, just holds his ground. And Kansas just pounded inside. They are really aggressively trying to play this game inside 10 feet.
At this end, that was the 3rd call against Langford. Warwick over Thomason.
Nice play defensively by Dawson. Langford giving up too much size. Can't keep Anthony off the boards.
Well, that'll be number 4.
Wow, Roy Williams now in real trouble. We talked about the short bench. And he can ill afford to put Langford down with Langford's ability to score. But at least Lee, a better outside shooter, Jim, may be able to go ahead and compensate somewhat.
The only man you can bring in. He's over 50% on the season from 3. Michael Lee wearing that Manning number 25. Denied on the inbounds, and Lee takes it for Kansas. Here he is, jumper 3. Yes, right off the bench, big contribution.
There it is. He has played outstanding basketball off that bench. And it really now gives Kansas 2 perimeter shooters in the game.
First time under 10 since 12 and a half remain in the first half.
Syracuse better go to Anthony now because they're getting a little frazzled. Bad pass.
It's Lee again. Lee did a great job of defending. And there's Heinrich. No call. Collison put back. 6-point game.
Senior to senior. And Jimmy Boeheim now saying, I need a timeout. Will he take it? Lackadaisical play by Warwick. Now here, Jim, is where we talk about seniors and freshmen. The freshmen had their way in the beginning of this game. Now the experienced seniors giving them some problems.
Another steal. Up ahead is Miles. Heinrich the trailer. Heinrich in over Duaney. Which way are they calling it? This time it's a block. Count the basket.
Jimmy Boeheim probably waited one possession too long to call the time. Kansas's fast break. We waited for it in the first half. It wasn't there, but it is in full gear now.
Third call against Warwick. The basket counts. Heinrich will go to the line to bring it to 3.
I'm thirsty. You want something?
If you're up.
I'm up. You want anything?
It's okay.
David, I'm in the kitchen. Can I get you anything?
What do you have?
A Coke.
That sounds good.
Are you sure?
Yes, please. Thank you, Court.
Ice?
Yes, please. Oh, thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
Introducing Intel Centrino mobile technology. The new wireless laptop technology designed to help you untangle, unburden, and unwire your life.
So, the chase scene from Ronin? Wrong. French Connection.
Four Survivor women and 4 men remain.
It's the battle of the weaker versus the stronger.
But how far are they willing to go to win? All new Survivor, CBS Thursday.
Kansas comes storming out of the locker room, 9-2, beginning to the second half. And there are the Collisons, Dave and Judy. Dave, former high school coach of his son Nick, and right behind him, you see Jim and Nancy Heinrich. Jim also coaching his son back in high school.
What are the chances of this, Jim? Ray Nackey coached both Jim and Dave at Briarcliff College. Can you imagine coaching two fathers that became coaches who now have 2 sons in a national championship game? Wow, amazing.
Heinrich hits to make it a 3-point game. They've switched that last foul now from Warwick over to Duaney. Duaney with 3, Warwick with 2.
Been man-to-man all the way, and I think it's time for Anthony to go ahead and try to take over this game, slow down this tremendous rush. He's got Miles on him, giving up a lot of size.
Edelin, tough shot. Graves underneath. Collison secures it. Edelin reaching in. And that's going right back to McNamara. Quick pass to Anthony. Collison on the foul.
Everybody tried from Kansas to get... He is really sore back there. Took another bang inside going up against Collison. But, Jim, what happened to Collison that time? The Kansas players took off. Nobody's staying back to help him get an outlet pass. That's why he had to turn it over.
Just his first foul. Carmelo Anthony to shoot 2.
Eastern Regional's most valuable player. The nation's best freshman player. And he is rubbing that back. Giving him some problems.
Out of Baltimore, Maryland. Talked with Juan Dixon before the Final Four. Juan Ron told him there's nothing like playing in the Final Four. There's his mother, Mary. They play together, Anthony and Dixon, in the summertime back home in Baltimore.
Told him to bring it back home to Baltimore.
Bring it back for the second straight year. Miles trying one from the outside. Heinrich gets to the spot before Edelman.
We had Graves. Good decision.
Good snappy passing, and Lee too strong. Collison snags it. In and out.
Look at Graves diving for the ball. What a hustle.
Kansas ball off Edelman's leg.
Tremendous job by Graves. You don't see Collison not finish those off very often. And Graves dives for the ball to keep this thing live. Great job. You get the feeling right now that Kansas feels it's all their momentum, don't you, Jim?
No question about it.
They just look like they're wanting to take this on.
And that's taken away by Pace. Anthony. Collison again snatches the rebound. He's got Heinrich up court, but waits for Miles instead. 13 rebounds for Collison tonight, again dictating inside. Step to the basket, and he'll head to the line.
Jim, in that first half, despite the fact that Kansas got down by 19, they out-rebounded Syracuse 21-16.
Tonight on The Late Show, don't miss Chris Elliott. Later this week, they've got Adam Sandler, Lisa Marie Presley. The Late Show with David Letterman right here on CBS America's Most Watched Network. So Collison, we showed his father, Dave. They were 101-1 back in the days when Nick was playing there in Iowa Falls, and the dad decided to step down as coach, just take over athletic director's position because he wanted to travel and watch his son play his whole college career.
Seems like this entire tournament, that's been a story of families traveling.
Great pass. He was caught for a moment. Collison over to Graves for the basket.
One of the things I saw Matt Namara do right there is look at the referee and try to talk him into a travel. He has to get back to concentrating on the game. He lost concentration there. You can't be crying about calls.
Over 3 minutes without a basket for the Orange.
See Lee getting right on him now, making him put the ball on the floor.
Boy, that looked like steps.
I don't think so.
Anthony going the other way.
Jim, I think that he went up in the air, but great job by Lee to say, no, you're not getting that fadeaway jump shot against me. You're going to have to put it on the floor.
Oh, I don't know. Kansas is coming on the Jayhawks. Down 3.
4.
So what did the doctor say?
He said the reason that I'm having trouble getting around is pain from arthritis.
What did he say to do?
He said to get moving again, I should take a leave.
But we've always taken Tylenol.
I know, but the doctor said that nothing is better than a leave.
Doctors know Aleve can stop pain all day with fewer pills than Tylenol. And Aleve works right at the site of arthritis.
So how's the Aleve working?
Like a charm.
Looks like you got your old moves back.
Aleve, arthritis pain relief that's all day strong, all day long.
Since I had my bypass surgery, I have a new outlook on life. I don't sweat the small stuff. I take time to stop and smell the roses. And I enjoyed life's little surprises. And on a more serious note, I take Zocor. Along with diet and exercise, Zocor lowered my cholesterol to where it should be. Zocor is also proven to significantly reduce the risk of heart attack among people with high cholesterol and heart disease. And in the past 10 years, more than 140 million prescriptions have been filled for Zocor.
Zocor is a prescription medication and is not for everyone, including women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant, or people with liver problems. Your doctor may do blood tests to check for liver problems because serious side effects can result. Tell your doctor about any muscle pain or weakness you experience and about any medicines you are taking.
Along with diet and exercise, ask your doctor about Zocor and take care of yourself. It's your future. Be there.
Right now at TGI Fridays, dig into our new delicious sizzling chicken and cheese with sautéed vegetables and our signature mashed potatoes for just $8.99. Come get a taste of our new bold flavor.
CBS Wednesday, the all-new Star Search tournament is underway. Live! Catch the young superstars of tomorrow on the all-new Star Search, live CBS Wednesday and Friday.
Watch the left foot. The evidence is in here, Billy.
Jim, you beat me on this one, but 1/8 of an inch underneath there. But you know what? Referees work standing up, Jim. Unlike you, that you had the perfect... you wore me out on that one. The referee would never have been able to see that one, but great call on your part.
That was a good leap for me back in my playing days. Look at Kansas throw it out of bounds. Of course, for Syracuse, they wish they would have called the travel because instead it was a charge on Anthony, collecting a second, and he's sitting down right now.
Not for long. He's right back up, going back in this game, and they're going to have to keep him in the game because he doesn't want to get tight with that back.
He only attempted 1-3 in this half and misfired after knocking down 10 in the first. And Pace, he loves that shot.
He's kind of like doing his impersonation of Langford, the left-handed scooper just penetrating inside.
Which is really an impersonation of another number 5 who you played in this game 10 years ago on this floor. Jalen Rose.
That's his man.
Langford's man.
Yep.
And inside, Graves caught underneath.
Gets it back.
Banks it home.
This is the unknown factor. Jeff Graves with great play to keep the ball alive before. He stayed out of foul trouble in this second half.
Warwick. Oh, how about that move?
Now we see the ballet dancer come back.
Heinrich guns it quickly. And Pace, all 3 on the floor. Foul on Kansas, on Lee.
Oh, somebody, is that Graves that hurt himself down there with an ankle?
Slow to get up. After the game, get official NCAA championship merchandise. Click on shop at cbssportsline.com or on America Online, enter the keyword CBS Sportsline. Graves is staying in.
And Jim, when you look at this Kansas team, you think, well, how could Roy Williams, this great recruiter, have such a short bench? You have to remember that one of the key players that he has, Wayne Simeon, is sitting on that bench but unable to play because of that shoulder operation he's had.
Pace comes inside. Dipsy Dude picked up by Collison.
Semi-numbers.
Miles got the spin on it.
And again, there was a 3-on-2. Kansas now starting to show some momentum with their break. If you're Syracuse, I think you want to get McNamara open for an outside shot.
And Graves read that one up ahead. Tough pass. Graves twice now. Graves has made suspect passes. Anthony, big 3.
Huge mistake by Graves, trying to make a play. Now there's no numbers. Heinrich should pull it back out, and does.
It's a coach's son for you. And the other coach's son going back to the line.
But there's one foul situation Syracuse can afford. McNeil in 4th can give up 10 fouls.
The running Jayhawks in the second half. Much more so in the first, 7 minutes than we saw in the entire first half.
Jim, the greatest Kansas comeback was one that we had a number of years ago where they came back from 19 to beat UCLA. They were down 18 in this game.
There's Wayne Simeon, shoulder surgery performed last week in New York. He couldn't be with the team when they were out west having the operation. That's a loss of like 15 points a game.
14-8, 8.2 rebounds a game. An all-conference caliber performer.
Well, this is a story now developing. Kansas has missed 9 of its last 11 from the line.
Kansas only shoots 66% as a team.
Pace got loose.
What valuable points this young man has put up for Syracuse in this NCAA tournament.
Kansas overall 9 for 20, 45% free throw.
Good skip pass. Heinrich has to be ready to shoot that ball at the catch.
Collison. Foul on Edelman.
Now Heinrich twisted an ankle. You're going to see guys walking them off. They don't want to go to the bench at any time in this game. Watch how Heinrich comes down, twists his ankle on the foot.
And he lands.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
But he is not coming out of this ball game.
He is still trying to walk. Well,
now he's going to walk this one off. He doesn't want to come out.
And Brian Nash is up to check in.
Heinrich is telling Roy Williams he's okay. He doesn't want to come out.
They're going to take him up.
I don't think he'll be out long, Jim.
Might want to have him go down toward the end of the bench and walk.
I'll tell you why you can't afford to have Langford out of the ball game now. You only basically have one ball handler in this ball game in Miles.
They had it down to 3 and the rebound before the turnover and a huge basket from outside by Anthony. Nash, not a big threat outside. This is last touch by Kansas.
This is a lineup that Kansas cannot win with that's on the floor right now. It can't keep Heinrich out long. Heinrich getting taped up down on the end line, and as soon as he's back in, you can expect, get ready to go. He'll be back in this ball game.
You're going to re-wrap him.
Yep. And this is the fastest tape job in Kansas' history. If they're going to stay in this ball game, they better get him back out there.
Warwick doubled up and traveled.
Nice help by Miles.
Yeah, Miles closed in on him. The pressure led to the turnover. Got a timeout on the floor. Roy Williams, be the biggest dream of my life come true. I can win the championship. Down 8.
There's only 2 ugly people in the world, and your mama's both of them.
You know, your mama's so fat, she stepped on the dollar and made change.
I heard your mama's so ugly, she robbed the bank with no gun, just stuck her head over the counter and say, put that money in that bag. Stick 'em up. Stick 'em up.
Timing was a little off.
Oh, timing was a little off. Timing is way off.
You're not funny.
Tell it over a great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Up top.
How about this one, babe? We somehow find everybody who bought the CD last week in Chicago.
From the database. Sweet.
When the band gets to Chicago, we contact all those fans.
Through the mail server. Sweet.
Offer them a t-shirt, concert ticket, something.
From the online store.
Sweet. Now that, babe, would rock.
Sweet. Already rocking, babe.
Sweet. .NET Connected Software helps you connect with customers. That's software for the agile business. From Microsoft.
Still looking for a better grade of basketball? Just go to Planters.com and you can win tickets to next year's Final Four in San Antonio. Go nuts at the Final Four.
Taco Bell Steak Quesadilla. Marinated carne asada steak and 3 rich melted cheeses make this one high-class quesadilla. Upgrade to steak. Think outside the bun.
Don't sweat it, time to test it. Just get messed up, throw your best stuff. Don't sweat it.
He dribbles down the court. He shoots. Oh, he's fouled. This week, Dave's all new with Adam Sandler, Lisa Marie Presley, and the latest Survivor Castaway.
CBS hopes you're enjoying the pictures from the Pontiac performance camp. How about the second half performance here, Billy, by Kansas?
A good comeback, but I think they really hurt themselves. They got it down to 3 on a couple of occasions.
4 occasions. They had it down to 3, and one time with possession. Short-lived. Let's go to Bonnie Bernstein.
Well, Jim, Kirk Heinrich's headed back into the game. He just got his left ankle retaped, but just watching him, he's in excruciating pain. He told me he twisted it twice on Saturday in the semifinals, but he did get through practice all day, got stim treatment, and he didn't think it would be a problem. Obviously, that's not the case.
He'll watch standing on the sideline for now. Collison, tough shot, no call, and pulled away by Pace.
How about Pace in this second half, Jim?
Sneaky production.
And we see McNamara down on that bench. He's 0 for 2 in the second half after that blistering first half.
Anthony was down at his feet. They say when he's really off, his shots come up short. Miles,
no place to go.
Fourth just held his ground.
The fourth never moved, and Miles came right to him.
Heinrich is ready to come in at the scorer's table. Anthony on the drive and the give up. Edelin. Ooh, off the front of the rim.
Edelin pretty creative on the inside, isn't he, Jim?
No.
The Matha product.
You can go to the official site of NCAA Sports to get complete NCAA basketball championship coverage. From video highlights to recaps and more, go to ncaasports.com.
Edelin and Anthony both went to Oak Hill, the storied high school program. And Edelin, of course, was ineligible Syracuse for a year. Then everybody thought that he'd be ready to go at the start of this year. Had to sit out 12 games. Declared ineligible for playing in a outside league, which, boy, was a fine line there for this young man, but I'm glad to see him back.
He was the Orangemen's top scorer the first 2 rounds of this tournament. That's the first miss of the night from the line for Syracuse.
A team that historically has been known as a poor free throw shooting team, but they're a better free throw shooting team this year than is Kansas.
Graves lost it. Collison in the right place. Gets out of the lane.
Collison's had some pretty good hands, doesn't he?
Incredible. Every time it's in the area, it's not going to be taken away. He's going to snatch it. Graves open. Just as soon as I say that, he loses the handle. Lee underneath. Out comes the orange. Pace. Miles reaches in.
And Miles actually felt that he tapped the ball off Pace's leg, but the official, because of how fast that ball got down the floor, wasn't in position to see it.
They weren't down there, and I think he may have a good case.
Yeah.
So they got it down to 3 on 4 occasions. Now it's back to 9, and they have a chance really to get it right back to the halftime margin of 11.
Lee is really bodying up Anthony, putting the body on him every step of the way here. Back left hand.
Too strong. Collison with the big mitts. 17 rebounds.
Collison has to stay on this floor the whole game.
Let's check out Heinrich way off.
You know why, Jim? He doesn't have to lift on the leg.
Yep. All comes from the feet.
Bad play. Not the time you want to throw that lob inside, even with Warwick, who is long. They had a nice fast break opportunity. I thought Edelin should have taken that right to the basket because he's a good finisher.
His first foul on Heinrich. Thursday, CBS, Without a Trace. Absorbing, compelling, unique. Don't miss an all-new episode. That's what the critics call it. 10/9 Central on America's most watched network. Jim Boeheim out halfway through the second half. His 87 experience here in New Orleans. McNamara comes back in for Boeheim. Tremendous experience, said Jim, for about 5 days, 39 minutes, 56 seconds till they were beaten at this end of the floor on a Keith Smart jumper with 4 seconds to play.
Jim Edelin, who had a high this year of 26 against Notre Dame, so it shows you how explosive he can be.
Back to double digits, Billy, 68-58.
That run has taken a lot of energy out of Kansas, hasn't it? It's really noticeable.
You really felt, though, they were going to get all the way back. They never did.
Again, Miles reluctant to take the